Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Today we're back with another community cast, a viewer-submitted replay, if you will. Wood Elves against the Beastmen, very fun thematic matchup, so let's take a look at the builds here. Durthu leading the way, he's got another tree man with him, Treekin to form a main line here, backed up by some Eternal Guards with shields. We've also got a Branch Wraith to be the healer, Penumbral Pendulum and Earthblood there. Durthu's just got Flock of Doom. And some more dancers with Azrai Spears in the back, plus the Forest Dragon, so a lot of big, stompy forest monsters in this particular Wood Elf build. Definitely not the kind of skirmishy, kitey Wood Elves. A lot of fun. We've got Ungor Herd, Blackhorns Ravagers, more Gore Herds with shields, some Ungor Raiders as well, good old Gorbel, Ungor Spearman Herd, Morgur the Shadowgave, and a Brace Shaman Lure of Death up on a chariot here. Some more Centaurs, Hounds, Centaurs, you know, the typical Beastmen stuff. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting battle. The thing about the tree builds, especially that now that they're more viable against a multitude of different factions, they're very much surprising. You know, they catch people off guard, and that's the main thing. There's really not that much anti-large or armor-piercing in this army. We've got the Centaurs, we've got the Sons of Goros, which do have some AP, obviously Gorbel. The Chariot can do a little bit of AP, but it probably doesn't want to be sitting and fighting the trees for too long. And just overall, this army doesn't have a ton of armor-piercing damage, so we'll see how that plays into this. The Treekin and Durthu and the Treeman, definitely very heavy units to try and work through. The Forest Dragon, on the other hand, only has 50 armor, does do magic and poison damage, and I believe the Breath also does poison damage, but anyway, we're going to jump into the front line as the Treemen come clashing with the Ungors here. Yeah, this is going to go definitely one way. However, the Sons of Goros charging in here will do some pretty good damage. You can see, I'm not sure if the bracing bonus of those Treekin applies. Treekin do have a charge defense against large, but Durthu's going to go ahead and follow up here. Yeah, that unit of Treekin actually took some pretty good damage there, but looks like Morgur also running in the front line here, just all in, you know, straight up the pipe, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Definitely a good choice. Breathing those Gore Herds, decent overall. We're also going to get a Penumbral Pendulum right down the line here, just cutting through some of those light Beastmen troops. Very good play by that Branch Wraith there, also dropping an Earthblood, so expending quite a bit of Winds of Magic early on, but you know, definitely going to be worth it to keep all these units in this pocket healed. Spirit Leech going down on the Forest Dragon, pretty good stuff there. A lot of the units in the backline for the Beastmen pretty content to just sit. There's no like Sisters of Thorn or any other kind of mobile units for the Wood Elves. I mean, I guess the Dragon could try and go back there. Honestly, it might not be bad to try and snipe out this caster with the Dragon real quick, but choosing instead to go after the Centaurs that had compromised the backline there, see if you can't go to get a quick tear route, and oh man, that unit of Centaurs is just getting nuked by Durthu, the Treemen, or sorry, the Treekin. Some Eternal Guards mixed in here as well. Eternal Guards are definitely going to be taking the worst of all of these engagements, most definitely, but they'll do okay. I mean, they'll certainly provide a little bit of anti-large and AP. The Azrai Spear will do better because of their better combat stats, but all the Wood Elf troops in general, just because of their low armor, they take a lot of damage from even like cheap missiles like this, shock damage, so any units with a good charge bonus can get some good damage done. You can see the War Dancers kind of reforming here. Durthu going straight after Gorbel here. And the Dragon also going to land a rear charge there, so Gorbel going to be suffering pretty badly here. You can see him just getting absolutely pummeled. And yeah, Gorbel's a pretty powerful character, but only 32 melee defense means that he's just going to get taken to Pound Town here. Durthu and the Dragon putting some heavy damage down. I mean, granted, the Dragon is taking some damage here as well. You can see the Treekin and the Eternal Guards starting to get worked down a little bit. Not sure, some units might have already routed, but looks like we got some Eternal Guards over chasing a little bit there. Very efficient Earthblood, catching all of the units in this pocket, especially the lower model count units, obviously the single entities, but especially like the Treekin and so on. But yeah, doing pretty good so far. That rear charge from the Hounds will do pretty well, providing that nice poison effect, and you can see the Treemen, or sorry, the Treekin really don't have that great of offensive stats, only 46 weapon strength, while poison is actually pretty poor indeed, and so as a result they're not really going to be putting out that much damage against the Beastmen infantry. Likewise, the Wood Elf infantry isn't really going to be putting out a whole bunch of damage. It's really the big stompy trees that are going to be doing the majority of the heavy lifting here, and so it's more a matter of can they hold out long enough, you know, to buy these big trees some time, not let them get isolated. Another Spirit Leech going down. That breath attack was a bit of a swing and a miss there, unfortunately. Just bouncing mostly harmlessly off those Chaos Spawn, those summoned Chaos Spawn. But yeah, Ungol Raiders very cost efficiently shooting at that Forest Dragon. Again, only 50 armor there, so getting some great value out of those volleys. The throwing axes have just about used up all their ammo. I'm not sure exactly what they've been focused on, but the Treekin are pretty much down at this point. However, Durthu and the Tree Man are both pretty much completely healthy. You can see the Sons of Goros trying to single out these exposed Treekin here, but it's going to have to be careful. The dragon is in the area, and a quick tear route could lead them right off the side of the map. Great job screening with these Ungor Spearmen here, and it looks like the Bray Shaman potentially trying to come around as well. Use that nice charge bonus with the Chariot and everything. Actually charges into the Treemen in this backline area. Very interesting. Looks like Sword of Daith, maybe? No, Call of Violence going down. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. Sons of Goros were not able to finish off those Treemen, but they are going to be able to mostly reunify here. It looks like they were somewhat interrupted by regular Centaurs, and in fact, they just rout, or one of them does at least. But Durthu's going to try and, or sorry, the Branch Wraith will try and throw another Earthblood in here. Branch Wraith hasn't really been focused down either. Not really that many Beastmen units that could have focused it down. I mean, maybe the Gorbel if he was still alive, but Gorbel just got taken to absolute pound town, so unfortunately that's not really an option at this point. Yeah, the Bray Shaman fighting in here. We're going to grab some cinematics of him getting beat down. Once he gets surrounded by the trees, he's not going to be able to escape, and then it's just a matter of time before Durthu and the Tree Men turn their attention to him. You can see them bringing down the Vine Slap there right on his head. And with that, the balance power is starting to shift pretty decisively in the Wood Elves' favor here. Forest Dragon quite low, actually losing out to the Sons of Goros there. More Centaurs piling in, trying to finish that dragon off. Only 300 HP. It's probably going to go down there, or at the very least shatter. Ooh, it's going to be tight. Ooh, yep, it goes down. Unfortunately, kind of a mass tear route from the Beastmen in this main pocket, and again, just the damage not being done to the Tree Men and Durthu, and that's really ultimately what cost the Beastmen this game. Just didn't bring enough armor piercing to the table, and what armor piercing they did bring ended up not really being able to be dedicated very well to Durthu and the Ancient Tree Men. I actually think the tree builds are going to have a little bit of a hidden niche here. The Beastmen aren't the best against large armored targets. They have some tools to deal with them, but they don't have a lot of tools that other factions have, certainly. So Minotaurs, just because they aren't the most cost-effective in the world, they might be a little bit better in this patch. I haven't seen them a whole lot, though, so something tells me probably not. Then again, you probably wouldn't think to bring Minotaurs in this matchup unless you're bringing Minotaurs with shields, although a couple Minotaurs with shields probably wouldn't be a bad idea just to help prevent something like this. Although a more traditional Wood Elf build probably would be able to punish you for that pick pretty badly, even with the shields, but nonetheless, we're going to grab some more cinematics of Durthu and this Tree Man finishing things off here. The Branch Wraith also mixed in there, getting some swings directly on Morker here, as he tries to hold his Beastmen forces together, but the Angry Tree is just too much for the Beastmen. It's going to trigger army losses, and that'll be it. So, very fun battle. Big thanks. I believe this was, again, submitted by Zardar. So, Zardar, if you see this battle, go ahead and throw a link to your channel down in the comments below. So, very fun battle. Always like to see the tree builds in action. This one going with the dragon and pretty wide. No mobility, though. Personally, I like to bring at least one Sister of Thorn with builds like this. The dragon's an interesting pick, and certainly against the Beastmen, where they don't really have that many powerful flying units, it's a relatively safe pick. You can usually get all three breaths off without too much issue, and being able to get that air rear charge on high value targets, definitely pretty powerful, as Gorbel found out. Definitely got taken to the dumpster there. 169 for Durthu, 81 for the Branch Wraith, very good stuff, 85 for the Tree Men, 66 for the Forest Dragon, all the single entities for the Wood Elves doing some heavy lifting, 54, a couple chevrons for the Azrai War Dancers as well. I believe these guys had their chevrons before the battle, could be wrong, but Beastmen did a good job of working through a lot of the supporting units, but it just didn't have enough left at the end of the day. Losing that Gorbel to that just massive goon was pretty rough. Might have just kept him in reserve until you got Durthu and the other Tree Men isolated, and then maybe try and bring him in for a rear charge or something, but, you know, it's tough to say. Very fun battle, though. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. In terms of Beastmen, yeah, like I said, they just don't have the best tools for taking down large armored monsters, and certainly they're not tools that you would think to really bring in this matchup, just because they're easily punished by missile play, which is, you've got the Koroks Man Rippers, kind of an elite halberd unit. They're pretty decent overall. Can definitely drag down large armored units relatively well, but you'll only get access to one of them Again, Minotaurs with shields, they do have a missile block chance, so they're somewhat resistant to missiles as compared to other Minotaurs. They do have better melee defense and armor as well, so just generally I prefer these guys. If you are going to bring some Minotaurs, I think these guys are the way to go. Butchers of Kalkengard, much more expensive. Again, only 45 armor, so it might not be worth it in this matchup, but they do have regeneration and 60 melee defense, which is pretty solid overall. Definitely no complaining there. Honestly, the Eye of Morslave might not be a bad idea here, just because the Wood Elves, they don't have any long-range artillery. They do have long-range skirmishers, but as long as you fight far away enough from the Eye of Morslave, I mean, potentially they can get some mobile units back there, but the Eye of Morslave, he can do okay on his own, and, you know, you can support with your own mobile units as well, certainly, and the Wood Elf skirmishers, if you fight far away, they won't be able to get in range of the Eye of Morslave, so you can generate a lot of value, although you more think of the Cygors as good against armored infantry factions. They are very good against the Wood Elves as well. With this being magic damage, I wonder how much this would do if you just hit Durthu directly with one of those boulders. I'd be curious to test that out. But obviously the throwing axes, Centaurs, do have armor-piercing missiles as well. But again, no missile block chance on these guys. Relatively risky pick against the Wood Elves traditionally, so wouldn't really think to necessarily bring them here. So if I had to really nail something down, you know, it's tough to say. It's tough to bring a build that would be able to deal with a lot of the different things that they could throw at you. I might tank up on some regular Centaurs. Certainly Morgur is the best option. I might go with Lore of Wild so that I can summon more Cygors, just to really try and spread the Wood Elves out as much as possible, and try and take advantage of that mobility there. And because the Death Star, you know, the Treeman Death Star definitely is benefited by staying in a nice tight blob, so if you can potentially have some ways of punishing them for that, then maybe that could do pretty decently. We're not going to worry about taking Gorbel, although he is a pretty powerful anti-large AP tool, not necessarily the best against single entity models. I find he's generally better against heavy cavalry factions, you know, like Empire, Bretonnia, that sort of thing. I would definitely recommend Gorbel there, but in this matchup here against the Wood Elves, yeah, don't know that I would recommend taking a Gorbel. A couple of Ungor Herds, not a bad idea. The Gore Herds with shields also pretty decent in this matchup. They can trade pretty efficiently with Eternal Guard and so on. So something like this, and then, yeah, you've got your Raiders, maybe a couple Raiders, and we still don't have that much armor piercing at the end of the day. We're really going to be relying on the Eye of Morslave. I guess I'll caveat this with, I don't know if this guy will actually do any damage to the trees if he's throwing directly at them. I'd imagine it would. I actually don't know, but maybe you could come in here, throw down on one more throwing axe. Something like that might be pretty solid. Just kind of spitballing here, guys, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.